I'm Bethany Little, and this is Daily Newscast. Today's topic, wildfires. Now, we all think we know humans are the cause of wildfires, but did you know that human-caused wildfires only account for 10% of those fires? We all hear Smokey the Bear saying, only you can prevent wildfires. But maybe you can't. Here's our panel with more.
We're both political scientists. I'm Dr. Cook, and I'm an ecologist.
I'm a clinical researcher. My name is Dr. Daly.
We're both here today to show the benefits and detriments of wildfires, because although you may only think of the damage fire causes, you might not realize that ecosystems actually depend on fires. We see fires in biomes like very dry forests, grasslands, and prairies. The dry aspect is important because it means that there's no moisture to snuff it out. The dry materials also allow the fire to spread because the matter it's burning up is actually fueling the fire. Now, fire actually maintains an ecological balance. It unearths richer soil, which allows for new and more plant growth, and that plant growth supplies nutrition, which is carried up through the food chain. Fire also creates space for more growth, which allows for larger growing trees. Now, this whole process of regrowth is referred to as secondary succession, which is very important in our biosphere. One of the causes of wildfires is lightning, which is divided up into two categories, cold and hot. Cold lightning has high voltage, but it only very briefly does it touch the ground. Hot lightning, the larger flame wildfires, does not have a very high voltage, but it stays in contact with the ground for much longer. This means that the more friction with the ground, the more heat is produced. This heat is important because it warms the soil, and some plants actually need a higher soil temperature in order to grow. The National Park Service has told my company that in the Everglades National Park, 33 native species depend on fire for their long-term survival. This survival could be effective as early as the first stages of development. For example, the cones of jack and lodgepoles are sealed in pitch, which is opened by fires, allowing them to get growth. Fires also open lilac outer shells, stimulate California chaparrals, and start the sprouting process for aspens, birches, and willows. It also helps animals like hawks who use the burned area for hunting and the unburned area for shelter, and other animals just rely on food source, like how deers eat the new shoots from the nutritious soil.
Now, this all may be true, but human safety is just as important. Although many might consider fire the major problem, I say the real problem is smoke. The smoke plays a major role in respiratory issues, including pneumonia. Smoke alone causes major problems, but many people do not realize that smoke can carry harmful gases and toxins through miles on end. This means that wildfires actually contribute to air pollution, which would loop back around to cause more climate changes. I say loop because this is part of a vicious cycle. The smoke causes climate change, and the climate change causes fires. The hotter and drier the climate, the easier it is for a place to have wildfires. This is why we see fires in California, which is prone to droughts, for example. The lack of moisture in the air means that there's very little to stop the fire, which makes these areas kind of like large tinder boxes. These toxins are very spreadable because they usually go high into the atmosphere, which is fickle, owing to the influence by the wind and the currents. Although it is not noticed by most, 2/3 of the U.S. is affected by the smoke from wildfires. These effects may lower birth rates of babies whose mother were affected by the smoke. US Today says that a wildfire season resulted in 69 premature deaths, 778 hospitalizations, 1,431 emergency room visits, and 47,605 outpatient visits. Most are for respiratory and cardiovascular health problems aggravated by the smoke exposure. Aside from these clinical problems, I would like to point out that in 2012, Colorado alone had 700 homes burned down. The Yarnell Fire was an example of deaths of civilians and firefighters when a 500-acre fire spread and tragically killed 19 firemen. Fires are also just very expensive to contain, and even in my friend's field, fires are part of erosion because the soil, being so dry, is unable to hold water. Just look at this fire in the grasslands. Now, this fire is nowhere near human life, so we should let it burn so the biome can prosper. But if it is going to affect us, snuff it out because safety is important. Back to you, Beth. Thanks, doctors. After the facts on wildfires, I think it's safe to say they aren't quite as detrimental as we had previously thought. Wildfires can help the ecosystem through secondary succession, but it's still important to stay safe. So humans can still take care to not neglect campfires, burning breeze, or cigarettes. But if it's natural and does not affect humans, leave it be. Thanks for watching. I'm Bethany Little, and have a great day.